Thanks for joining me tonight, Outlaw Edge Blade Works. This video tonight is a VR or a video response. This is Ellis Ingram. This video is for you, bro. Children's books. You were asking me about your kids and they're younger, and I know my kids checked out some of these books that I had a while back when they were younger, really liked them, and these are highly recommended children's books out of my library. This is an old campcraft book, and there's a lot of little tasks that you can do and fill out the tasks and whatever. This is kind of a common book. I've looked all over the place and found them all over the place, like different used bookstores and stuff, and sometimes you can pick these things up for like $1. I don't remember what I paid for this one, but I found it at a garage sale or something like that. But it's got a lot of neat kids tasks and skills and bushcraft stuff, and this is a great book. It's got recipes, it's camp stew, you know, of course, s'mores and all kinds of stuff like that. It's got knots, different tasks that they can do, tent stakes and little simple things, and how to sharpen knives and how to hang a head on an axe. And really cool little book though. And I know this is something that children might be, you know, really interested in. But this is, you know, this is not only for children, this is for adults too. But it's the way it's set up. It's kind of like an old Boy Scouts of America book, and I really liked it, and I figured the kids would love this one. But anyways, I'm not going to keep rambling on. One of the other really good books for children, The Outward Bound Map and Compass by Glenn Randall. This is an awesome book, and they used to have these at all the bookstores. Excuse me. I know Barnes & Nobles still carries this. I believe I got this at like Borders or Barnes & Nobles, one of those. And it has these really cool, inside of it, it has these really cool cards that came with it, and it was like teach you how, you know, skills to read maps, all your different stuff that you can do with compasses, and great for kids. I mean, all kinds of neat little things inside this book. And this actually comes with, if you can find it complete in the kit, it actually comes with a little compass and a fire steel, I believe is what was in there for making fire or whatever. But there's another book that they have like this. There's a whole series of these, and they're great books for children. And it's an easy read, and there's a lot of stuff in here that for map reading, and you know, how to orienteering and learning how to read a compass and all that, direction. And I mean, there's tons of stuff in here where children would be really interested in. It's something you could work with them and teach them, you know, as far as how to read a compass or whatever. And this is another one that was out of my library that I really liked, and I read the book a couple times and I really liked it. And it's kind of based on a lot of different other books, but I could take this one and 3 or 4 other compass books, and there's a lot of stuff in here that they talk about in this book. That's why I wanted this, that other orienteering or compass books didn't have in them. So yeah, this is a great book. And this one, I have tons of these, all different styles and models or whatever you want to call it. Boy Scout Handbooks. And I don't know whose this was, whoever Cottonwood is, but got this at a garage sale for like 50 cents or something. And there's tons of great stuff in the Boy Scouts book. And there's all kinds of skills out in the woods, purifying water, building shelters, and you know, medical and first aid, and games, and just tons of stuff. And cleanup, campcraft, knots, wood lore, swimming, all kinds of stuff. And these are great books for kids. And I know when I was a kid, you couldn't get me away from this book. I've read this tons of times. This isn't mine from when I was a kid. I probably have mine. It's probably out there in the library somewhere. I wouldn't doubt it if I found it, you know, the next couple days, because I'm going to be cleaning up some of that mess. But I'm finding more and more books, and I'll probably do a couple more videos for you with children's books that I have in the library. But this is something that I think all kids should have when they're younger, and this is an outdoor journal. And this is something that, you know, you open it up and you could fill it out. You could write what kind of animals you saw that day. Neat little tricks that you learn, like wild edibles, and where you built your shelter. You can draw maps in this. I mean, there's tons of things that you can put inside this. And I know, like when I was younger, I like to write a lot, so I'd put stories and stuff in this. And for a young kid to have a journal out in the woods is awesome. And you give them a compass, a fire steel, a knife, and you'll never see them again. They'll be taking off all over the place, spending hours out in the woods. And that's something I think children need nowadays, you know. But this is great. And you can pick these up at bookstores all over the place, or like a lot of the Christian bookstores have these, and there's tons of places you can pick them up. A lot of like Staples and the office supplies, Office Max, whatever, they carry these. And I know you can pick them up at like Walmart and stuff like that. Maybe not this style, but different styles, but awesome. Outdoors skills and tips. And there's a bunch of these style books out there. Excuse me. And children, these are easy read for children, so that they can do learn different skills and whatever. And it's very easy to read. A lot of pictures, which, like, when I was a kid, it was easy for me to, you know, look at a picture and be able to read a story and kind of learn my way through it. And this has tons of stuff in it. It's a great book. Highly recommended. And this one, I know all the kids love this. Sleeping in a Sack. Camp Activities for Kids by Linda White. And there's all kinds of cool stuff in here. This is a great little book too. Real simple. This is for the younger kids and whatever. Tons of stuff like that for camping and hiking and whatever. And teaches you how to set up a tent and all kinds of good stuff like that. A lot of good little skills in this book. Great book. The Boys Book of Outdoor Survival. If you can find them this book, this one's awesome. I actually read this a bunch of times because I like it so much. And this is based off like the SAS Survival Guide and whatever. And that's actually an SAS survival kit if you check it out in one of their books. But it's kind of in layman's terms for kids, where they can learn, you know, where it's kind of brought down to children's level where they can understand it and go through it. And there's just tons of stuff in here. How to make snowshoes. I mean, there's just a bunch of stuff. It's a great book. What to do if you're lost and whatever. You can find this one, and it is by Chris McNabb, and he does tons of survival books, bushcraft books and whatever. He's a good author. And then there is The Boy's Life Book of Outdoor Skills. I had this one in my library and didn't even know it. And I started flipping through this, and it was funny because when I was trying to find some of those books in my library to show you the video or whatever, I noticed that it was this is a lot of these stories were out of the Boys Life magazines that I used to read as a kid. You know, how to build a deal in the snow and camping, hiking, fishing. I mean, there's a whole bunch of cool stuff in here. A lot of Boy Scout stuff. Knots, snow caves, all kinds of good stuff. I know this is a fun one for kids though. You can find that one, and this is not a hard book to find. It's all over the place. I've seen it at Borders, which they went out of business a while back, and I've seen it at Barnes & Nobles, and all the smaller bookstores like in the malls and stuff. I see this all the time, and I know Amazon carries this. So if you can pick this one up, this is a great book. And I'm trying to look for the author, but I guess it's you know, Boys Life magazine is who puts it out or whatever. I'm pretty sure. That's a good one though. And one of my most favorite, like, this book is one of my favorites because it's not only for children, but there's a lot of neat things in here for adults too. But it's done in a really cool way where you can do stuff with your kids. And there's a lot of nature notes. You could write down birds and animals and trees and nature and whatever. Write poems. Draw some different sketches and whatever. And there's just a mess of stuff in here. Tracking animals and this is all, it goes all the way through the year or whatever, so you can, you know, at the end of the year you can go back and check out different things. And then at the end here there's a whole bunch of nature notes. But this is a really good book, and I've read through a lot of parts of this. I haven't read the whole thing, but there's a lot of good stuff in here, and it's by Claire Walker Leslie. But anyways, Ellis Ingram, this video was for you, and appreciate you taking the time and watching it, bro. Thanks.